ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen.
Amen.
And Mazel Tov. And I also want to say to you guys with these amazing balloons, as people are starting to join us, you know, you really had to overcome some international adversity to make today work. And it doesn't look exactly the way that you imagined or any of us imagined when we planned this day. We didn't think about a pandemic, but you know what? You've stepped up to the plate and been incredible. Your family has been amazing, preparing you and supporting you and being really excited for and with you. And like I said to you when we met, I can't remember if it was on Zoom. Well, it must have been on Zoom. I was going to say, I can't remember if it was the first time or on one of our conversations. You know, the Jewish people has continued to celebrate this milestone regardless of what's been going on in the world. And so you today stand before us in this crazy time in history that no one will ever forget, to make sure that this unbroken chain of passing on this tradition remains unbroken. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's always pretty cool to become bar mitzvah, but especially at this moment when you didn't change your date and you persevered and now you stand before us. We're really, really excited and proud to be here with you. So Rabbi Phelps or Cantor Glaser, anything that you want to say to Trevor just before he goes on to Zoom, leads us?
Well, I'll just say quickly, we both said a few words to Trevor while it was just us chickens in the room. And so I think Trevor's in a really good state and is really ready to do this. And I just want to say very briefly again, you know, be in the moment today. Enjoy this ceremony as you go through it. Notice it as it's happening. This is going to be an important milestone for the rest of your life that you'll be able to go back and reflect on, and having recorded in this way what you think and what you understand about yourself and Judaism now is going to be a real gift to your future self. So enjoy it while it's happening.
Absolutely. And I just want to say this is a big Shehechiyanu moment for me, because you are the first student that I have taken through B Mitzvah as, you know, a fully fledged cantor. So it means a lot to me to have you here as, you know, my first student from start to finish. And I'm really proud of all the work you've done. And as Rabbi Phelps said, just really be present, enjoy this time, enjoy all the work you've done, and enjoy all the partying and presents.
Awesome. Mom and Dad or Brendan, anything you want to say to this wonderful young man standing next to you?
No, we're just excited for him to get going here. We're so proud of him. He's worked so hard. He has something to say. Yeah.
We have a 27-minute speech prepared for the end.
Yes, so don't worry.
So we'll hear all of that. Awesome. Well, it is 4:32 and you're a punctual Jewish family. So if you guys are ready to begin this bar mitzvah, I say let's go. Cantor. I want to welcome everybody to this Shabbat afternoon service at Congregation Shereth Israel. Although Cantor Glaser is the only person actually in the sanctuary at Congregation Shereth Israel, I'm Rabbi Jessica Graff, the senior rabbi, joined by Cantor Toby Glaser from the main floor of our congregation, and Rabbi Abby Phelps, who's dangling up in the dome in a beautiful way. And most importantly, we are joined by Trevor Foss and the Foss family to lead us in this beautiful Shabbat afternoon service on this momentous occasion when Trevor becomes bar mitzvah in the presence of our entire community and so many others who are able to join us on Zoom this afternoon. So I want to invite another really important person, who is Brendan Foss, to present Trevor's talit so that he can begin to lead us as a young man in our prayer service.
Trevor, yeah, I'm proud of you. I mean, we've grown up the same, almost the same environment, but you're more mature than me, and I'm very proud of you for going through all this work while balancing homework, schoolwork, now that's all online, and practicing for this.
Thank
So
you.
very proud. You had to go through all that, and you survived. Now you're here now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. And Trevor, you have a prayer for the putting on of the talit.
Yes, Brendan is also doing it with me.
Great.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahatikif bat zitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
And
Beautiful. We'll join together in these words. Hine matovu manayim shavet achim gam yachad. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to dwell together as brothers, you guys as brothers and sisters, a whole community. When we come together, even when we're physically distanced, we create a very special community.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
We join together now in words of Baruch Hu as we say, yes, we are ready as a community to stand with you, Trevor, on this very important afternoon when you become bar mitzvah in our community.
Yadai-dai-dai, yadai-dai-dai-dai, 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 yadai-dai-dai-dai. Baruchu et Adonai ha-mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yadai-dai-dai, yadai-dai-dai-dai, 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 yadai-dai-dai-dai.
For some of you, these tunes may be very familiar, in which case, please sing along. For some of you, this may be new music or a whole new service altogether. And we invite you to listen and to pray and to say your own words as you follow along with our service and the beautiful music that's coming from somewhere upstairs in our synagogue, thanks to Jonathan Dimmick, our amazing music director. We'll continue with Roll into Dark, which is an adaptation of Ma'ariv Aravim, the prayer for evening. As our day begins to turn into night, we thank God for the endless cycle of day, which becomes night, and night again, which becomes day in the morning, giving us life renewed.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei om valayla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, bechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom valayla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or.
We take a deep breath at the end of this Shabbat as we near the time when the sun will go down. Think about the angels of Shabbat that stay with us for 25 hours from Friday at sundown until Saturday night when we see 3 stars. And we are surrounded by a sense of community, of wholeness, of peace. During Shabbat, we fill ourselves with the presence of that wholeness and the presence of God with these words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Trevor, whenever you want to start us with Ve'ahavta, we invite you to lead us in prayer.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני, אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach means way to go. Continued strength. That was a beautiful, beautiful chanting of those words, which mean that it is our obligation to teach all of our values to our children. So thank you for showing us what our future looks like. The next prayer in our service is called Micha Mocha, and it's the celebration of our passing from slavery through the Red Sea to freedom. It's particularly meaningful. We chant this always when we're together, but it's particularly meaningful on this Shabbat when we have just been reading the story of our people's actual exodus from Egypt and going out from the narrow place, which is what Mitzrayim means, the land of Egypt, into a place where we can honor that freedom and help others to achieve it. So we sing this today in honor of that freedom and in honor of the work that we must do to bring freedom to everyone in the world.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי אנו
Shelter us under God's wings.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We invite you now to rise as able as we join together for the Amidah, the standing prayer, the prayer in which we have an opportunity to express all of our gratitude and joy and appreciation of God, and also on this day of Shabbat to give thanks for the day of rest that we have all been enjoying. So please go ahead and stand and join us in these prayers of the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yadadai-dai-dai, 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 yadadai-dai-dai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל.
We now invite you to take just a few moments to pray silently whatever prayers are arising in your mind or your heart today. And when you have concluded your prayers, you may go ahead and be seated.
Shalom במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
We now transition into the most exciting part of this service, the Torah service. This is really exciting for at least a couple of reasons. One is Trevor gets the opportunity now to show us just how much he's learned, how much Torah he can read, how much wisdom he can share with us. And also, this is the moment where he really comes into his inheritance, his sacred birthright as a Jew, which is the Torah. This is a text that you, Trevor, get to inherit now. You get to carry it with you, and you get to work to teach it to others around you as well. So if you can, please go ahead and rise as we sing a few prayers in honor of the Torah.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל פי קדושתו.
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, my turn for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, what?
Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Beautiful. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Uneramemo Shemo Yachtav. Beautiful chanting in our kind of central prayer, the Shema, so beautifully sung by Trevor there, and now we come to our aliyot, to Trevor's Torah readings that he has prepared so nicely.
And you can go ahead and be seated if you are still standing. I was just going to say a quick word about the Torah portion.
Absolutely.
So as we are coming toward the end of this Shabbat day, we begin to look forward to the new week and in fact to the new Shabbat that will come. And so we transition from the Parsha that we read this morning that Rabbi Graf mentioned earlier that features the crossing of the Sea of Reeds Parshat B'Shalach, and we move into Parshat Yitro, the parsha in which we remember quite a lot of really important things, including the giving of the Ten Commandments, and also a really critical moment early in Moses's work caring for the Israelites, where he takes some really good advice about how to manage the work he's doing better. I won't say more because Trevor's actually going to do a lovely job of summarizing all of this later, but that is the portion that Trevor will read from today.
And for our first Aliyah, we have a lot of very important people. I'm not sure, I think we have Dennis Barden and Leslie Papa and Sal Papa, if we can put pins on them on the chat there just before we call everyone to Torah, if that's possible. That was Dennis Barden, Leslie Papa, Sal Papa. And so we're going to call to Torah Renee Barden, Anne-Marie Barden, Dennis Barden, Nicole Morales, Leslie Papa, and Sal Papa. And I'm going to call some people by their Hebrew names. Ya'amdu Tzvi ben Chaim, Shaul ben Tzvi, Daniela bat Tzvi, Laliyah la Torah. If you'd like to lead us in our blessing before Torah reading, Bar et Adonai.
Baruch Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai V'rach Le'olam Va'ed.
Adonai Hamavrach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Trevor, whenever you are ready.
Amen. Vayedaber Elohim et kol hadavarim ha'ele lemor. Anohi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeticha me'eret Mitzrayim mibet avardim lo yihye lecha Elohim acherim al panai lo taseh v'chafeso Behold Munai, Asher Bashamayim, Mima, Ba'asher Ba'aretz Mitahat, Ba'asher Ba'mayim Mitahat La'aretz.
Amen. Beautiful reading, Trevor. Thank you. Baruch. Baruch Atah Adonai.
Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher
Natan.
Natan Emet. B'chayei Olam. Atah B'tochenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Thank you so much. Beautiful reading. Yes, receive a hug, receive some love from your grandparents there. And thank you so much to family members for being part of that first Aliyah. And beautiful Torah blessing chanting there. For our second Aliyah, we would like to invite up Trevor's parents. So we'll have Michelle Foss and Chris Foss. Ta'amod ilana batzfil aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai.
Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo tishtaveh lahem velo to'ovdem. Ki anohi Adonai Elohecha Elkanai Poked Avon Avot Albanim Ve'el Shleshim Ve'el Rebeim Lason I Ve'lo Se Hesed La'alafim Ve'o Havai Oshamrei Mitzvotai Lo Yisa Et Shem Adonai Elohecha Lashav Ki Lo Yinakeh Adonai Et Asher Yisa Et Shemo Lashav.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Temet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Thank you for receiving that Aliyah. Beautiful chanting.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Let's, we have, Rabbi, I believe we were going to put a Mishaberach in the middle there.
Yes. My apologies. The Mishaberach will indeed come in this moment in the ceremony. And I do want to say, though, right before we do it, so we're going to say Mishaberach for healing, which is traditional to say when we are reading Torah. It is traditional to draw upon the holiness and the religious connection of the Torah to bring a little bit of extra oomph to our messages of healing to those in our community who are in need of healing, whether that healing be of mind or body or spirit. So at this time, if there is someone to whom you wish healing, I invite you to share their names with one another in your homes, even to share their names in the chat if the chat is enabled. I don't know if it is, but if it is, please feel free. We'll go ahead and say those words of healing with Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu Mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Quickly, Trevor, before you chant your blessing, if we were together in the sanctuary at this moment, we might all be trying to get a drum roll going on our seats, on our legs, just to commemorate the fact that this is the critical moment, the moment where Trevor really takes his place as an adult in the Jewish community by saying the blessings before and after the Torah is read. So we bring our drum roll to a triumphant conclusion. And I invite you, Trevor, to go ahead and say your blessings and read from the Torah.
Let's call Trevor to Torah formally.
And I invite the cantor to do that first.
Excellent. Yes. So we're going to call you for your first time to Torah by your Hebrew name. Yeah, go off. Yeah, you know, a bit of theatrics. Get off camera. Ya'amor Daniel ben Ilana l'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Zahor et yom ha'shabbat lekadsho, sheshe yamim ta'avot ve'asita l'Adonai Elohecha. Ve'yom hashvi'i Shabbat l'Adonai Elohecha, lo ta'aseh kol malacha ata uvimha uvitecha, avdecha va'amata uvehemtecha ve'gerha asher
bisharecha. Koach, beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Mazel tov. Beautiful chanting.
Yasher Koach, you have done a fabulous job chanting all of this Torah, and now you have the opportunity to teach us a little bit of what you have learned about it. So please go ahead and share your Devar Torah, your words of Torah with us.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is Yitro. This Torah portion is named after Moses' father-in-law, Yitro, or Jethro in English.
In this portion, God calls Moses to Mount Sinai to give him the 10 Commandments. It begins with Moses talking to his father-in-law about how he's stressed out trying to handle everyone's problems. Moses is under a lot of pressure. His father-in-law tells him to make a system where he has judges determine when Moses needs to deal with people's problems. If the problems are too great for the judges, they ask Moses to intervene. But most importantly, the smaller problems are off his plate, and he doesn't need to deal with as many issues. He gets to delegate and let other people deal with the smaller problems. This was the beginning of our judicial system. It's really cool that the judicial system was created in the Torah and was invented and guided by Yitro, a Midianite priest. He and Moses were the first people to use the system that still guides and helps us today. Not long after, Moses is called by God. When Moses is told by God, "Listen, I helped you out of Egypt, and if you obey me, your people will prosper. Soon I will give you these rules for you to govern your people with." Moses waits 3 days and the horn blows, signaling it's time for him to talk to God. Moses goes up to Mount Sinai and God gives him the 10 Commandments. Then Moses comes down and shares them with the people. Commandment number 1, you don't have any gods aside from me. Commandment number 2, don't make a sculpture or idol of what you think God or heaven look like. Commandment number 3, don't say my name in vain. Commandment number 4, on the Sabbath day, do no work. Commandment number 5, honor your father and mother. Commandment number 6, do not murder, kind of a given. Commandment number 7, do not commit adultery. Commandment number 8, do not steal. Commandment number 9, don't say you saw something you didn't. And commandment number 10, don't be consumed by envy for your neighbor's things. These commandments are the basis of many laws the judicial system uses today. They form the foundation of a moral code for society. They give the judges something on which to base their determinations, and they provide the Israelites some guidelines to follow. These are 10 pretty great laws to start a society with. The 10 Commandments have certainly served us well, but you might notice they're pretty brief, so that leaves a lot up for interpretation. And until today, we're still trying to figure out how to interpret or obey them. You can certainly tell by the news cycles and headlines every morning that there are a lot of people that still really struggle with some of these basic laws to live by. Once Moses had set up the judicial system and gotten the 10 Commandments, the community was ready to grow. If God had given Moses a 10,000-page book of rules, Moses would be very bored while reading them, and probably wouldn't remember every rule. The 10 Commandments make society functional and stable. They provide a moral code that people can follow. They've really stood the test of time. The 10 Commandments influence me by teaching me right from wrong and making me a better person. Some of the commandments seem obvious for living a good life, like do not murder and do not steal, but others are a little more subtle, like don't be jealous of what other people have. As you know, I'm a twin. My brother Brendan is very organized, and I'm the exact opposite. Because of how organized he is, it's easier for him to get good grades since he keeps track of his notes and schoolwork better than I do. I feel being organized comes more easily to him than it comes to me. It makes me a little envious of him, which I know is against the 10 Commandments. Commandment number 10, don't be consumed by envy for your neighbor's things. But I stopped myself because I realized there are things that I have an easier time with too, meaning we each have our strengths and challenges. In addition to the lessons from the 10 Commandments, I learned other important things from this Torah portion. For example, I learned a lot from the partnership of Moses and Yitro. One lesson I learned is that you need to get help when things get to be too much. I see an example like this in my life as the Peer Counselors Program, a program at my school that I'm in, where you help other students resolve a conflict. The program hasn't officially started yet because of distance learning, but I am very excited for it because it will be an opportunity for me to help others in need and give them advice on how to work out conflicts. Another program I'm involved in is the Peer Tutoring Program, where you help others with their schoolwork. In the program, I help other kids succeed in class and in school in general by going over their assignments with them, seeing what they need to get done and how I can help them finish their work. These programs are important to me because they teach me how to help others. It's an important lesson that comes right from my Torah portion. Yitro says to Moses, you will surely wear yourself out and these people as well. To me, this means that if you do it on your own, you can't do it as well as you could if you had help. I am excited to have the 10 Commandments at the center of my Bar Mitzvah Torah portion. I'm so lucky that I got Parshat Yitro. I will always remember its lessons. Becoming a bar mitzvah means I am ready and working to become an adult in society. This Torah portion is the foundation of how I must act as an adult in the community. I am ready for more responsibilities as an adult in society. It will be my job to make moral choices and help others. As a part of my bar mitzvah training, I signed up for Hamotzi for the Hamotzi program at Sheriff Israel. There we cook nutritious meals for people in our San Francisco community who could use a homemade meal. At Hamotzi, I met new people and had a fun time there while helping out. During the cooking, I felt like I was helping my San Francisco community. I started doing Hamotzi because my mom and I started cooking way more over COVID, and I felt as if I could help others with my new skills. As I was doing my several days of Hamotzi, I was enjoying it very much because I was helping people and feeding more than 25 families each time. I also did this because when I think about childhood hunger, it makes me sad. Because nobody deserves hunger, especially little kids that go to school hungry and are embarrassed to get free reduced lunch because their parents can't afford it like other kids can, or go to bed hungry because there was no dinner. I go to Aptos, a public school in San Francisco, where the kids sitting next to me may not have had breakfast or they went to school hungry. I wish that this didn't have to happen. That's why I did Hamotzi, to help in a small way. I look forward to helping out at Hamotzi for a long time to come. I am grateful for this opportunity to become a bar mitzvah in this community. I wouldn't be here without my mom, my dad, my grandparents who braved COVID to be here, Brendan, and my other relatives. My mom and dad's values have helped me grow into who I am today. The values the community and my parents have taught me are: be kind, be thankful, and do good in this world. Going forward, I hope to get better at helping myself succeed and be kind and helpful to the community. I would also like to thank them for teaching me my morals, values, and how to be a better person. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach, once again, you have stunned us with your words of Torah, both read and constructed with your very own intellect and insights. And now we get to start celebrating you, and we'll start with a little Siman Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Helanu, 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 Olechol Yisrael. Helanu, Helanu, Olechol Yisrael. Helanu, Helanu, Olechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olechol Yisrael.
If you saw Trevor ducking at certain points there, just to let you know, it is traditional to throw candy at the new bar mitzvah. So he wasn't just being attacked for fun, he was being attacked for tradition and sweetness as well. But if you have any candy in your home, feel free to toss it up in the air at this time in celebration. We have an opportunity now for a number of different folks to honor Trevor, to express to him our impressions of all the things that he's been able to do leading up to this day. And the first thing we're going to do is give our senior rabbi, Rabbi Graf, the opportunity to bless Trevor and his family. And we're going to allow them to do that privately in a breakout room. So while that is happening, the rest of us will remain here and we will sing together and anticipate the family's return.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים לכי לך, לכי לך, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach, lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chaim, l'simchat chaim, l'simchat chaim lechi lach, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Let's have some instrumental music just while we're waiting for this private blessing.
Thank you. Well, there are a few folks who would like to say some words to Trevor. And the first one is a representative of our board of directors. I'm not entirely certain whether it's Stacy Passman-Lapushin or Lindsay Bronig. I believe it's Lindsay Bronig who's going to say a few words. So Lindsay, if you would, please go ahead and congratulate our bar mitzvah on behalf of the board.
Thank you. And that's actually Stacy and me both. So you'll get Stacy in just a sec. There we go. Trevor, Mazel Tov, that was wonderful. It is such a pleasure to be here on behalf of the board, and you will be getting an actual present from the board in honor of, oh, excellent. Nice coordination. But it's extra special to be here because of the fact that your mom and Warren went to college together. And so our lives have been intertwined for decades. And it's been so nice spending more time together over the past few years. And we're looking forward to lots more family dinners together once we can do that safely. I wish we could all be together to celebrate you after this. But since we can't be, we're going to do the next best thing. And we're going to order in Kay's Kitchen tonight and get a Foss roll. So wonderful job tonight, this afternoon. And we look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Hi, Trevor. We don't go as far back as the Bronig family with your family, but my husband Dan worked with your dad, and we have known each other. I knew your parents before you were born, and I remember this conversation that we had about our journey to having our daughter. And it was just before your mom got pregnant with you guys. And look at us now. We have 2 sets of twins between us. And I'm so excited that you guys decided to join our synagogue. And on behalf of the board, just mazel tov on such a beautiful job. And I've been really happy to also work with you on at Hamotzi, and I hope that you will continue to join us. And you have such a beautiful future, and I just love all the work that you've been doing for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you, Lindsay. Well, now I get to say a couple of words to you, Trevor, as well, because in my capacity as the director of Studio, which you have been participating in, our youth education program, I just want to say it has been such a pleasure getting to know you over the last couple of years. When I think about you, one of the first things I think of is we had this fabulous ocean cleanup event that we did in November, in the brief moment where it was permissible and safe to gather outside, and we were all socially distanced and masked and very careful, but also had the opportunity to come together and do a little bit of work to take care of the environment. And the very first people to show up were you and your brother. You were there with me right from the beginning. We greeted everyone together. We went out and cleaned stuff up. You guys picked up a tremendous amount of trash. You found an extremely cool hobby horse. The point of all this is I am so impressed by your enthusiasm and your energy and your willingness to help out. And I'm so looking forward to seeing how those things are going to keep growing and coming to fruition in our community going forward. So on the behalf of the school, I want to offer you one of the gifts you held up a moment ago, which you will see, the big flat one, is an illustrated copy of the Pirkei Avot. It's sort of a book of ancient Jewish wisdom, but rendered into kind of a graphic novel form. And I hope it will be really, you don't have to open it now, you can open it later, but I hope it will be really interesting to you. And you also have a card there, and that card is from our youth director, Natalie Wiseman. So there is a little gift from her in there as well. So please enjoy those on our behalf. And congratulations, you're doing an extraordinary job. And now, of course, wouldn't be a complete moment of appreciation of Trevor's work if we didn't give his parents an opportunity to say a few words as well. So I want to turn the spotlight over to them so that they can share their reflections with us.
Shabbat Shalom. Trevor, Mazel Tov, we're so proud of you. As parents, when people find out Trevor and Brendan are twins, we hear one of 2 things. 1, oh, I always wanted to be a twin. Or 2, I always wanted to have twins. Well, from our observation as parents, it's not all it's cracked up to be. First of all, you have to share everything with your brother, from your room to your underwear. And then when it's time for report cards or sports events or performances, You have always someone who's right there next to you being compared to you. On the one hand, I want to say that you handle all of that sharing in direct competition with the most grace. You two rarely fight over anything, you make each other better in school, and you move through the world easily together. And when someone threatens the other one, watch out. We'll never forget when you were in a pool on a vacation when you were about 3 years old and someone was picking on Brendan and you waded right up to her and you said, "Don't be mean to my brother." But today ends up being really the first time you've diverged paths for something this big. Trevor, you decided a bar mitzvah was right for you and you dove in with amazing commitment. It's been so great watching your dedication to your Torah studies, writing your Devar Torah, listening to you chant in the other room on your weekly Zoom calls with Cantor Toby, and to see all of that hard work come to fruition today has been so incredibly moving. Trevor, your love of music inspires us. And as I look back over the years, it's always been your passion. When you were 4, you told everyone that Katy Perry was your girlfriend. To be fair, she had blue hair at the time, and that was really, I think, what attracted you to her. You always loved instruments, and the highlight of your week was walking across the street to Alex's house for your weekly piano lesson. When you started getting homework, you asked if you could listen to music to keep you on task, and it really works for you. But over the years, your musical tastes have evolved, and when a few years ago you asked for an Iron Maiden t-shirt, I didn't know that that was going to become your signature look. You have all your favorite band t-shirts now, and that's what you wear every day. Now, for most kids, it's about texting or getting them off of the video games. But for you, these days, it's asking you to take your headphones off at the dinner table. And it blew our minds when Julian gifted you his acoustic guitar that was part of his Halloween costume a few years ago after you begged for it. And you went home and you taught yourself how to play the guitar on YouTube and through instructional videos. And now we're blessed with our very own Eddie Van Halen, listening to you play your new electric guitar that you bought with your holiday money. Music is like water to you, and we love the way it stirs you and keeps you going. Your most memorable trait, however, comes to how you operate in this world. Honesty is your best policy, and everyone here loves you for it. We know you cannot tell a lie, and that makes you so very special and true to yourself. When you were in kindergarten and you got in a little trouble at school, the principal called you down for a chat and said, "How are you, Trevor?" And you answered, "I'm nervous and my throat is dry." Or when you were 8 and the pediatrician asked you what you wanted to do when you were older, you replied, "Drive a Porsche." Always literal and always the 100% honest truth. And when something's gone wrong, you always fess up. We know we can count on you to give the full story. Your honesty is also such a tribute to everyone you come in contact with. Your trust and faith in people and the way that they're going to react to your honesty is astonishing. It also shows that you're confident in yourself and even sometimes in the mistakes you make in order to hold the truth in such high regard. At this time in our history, where it's so hard to discern what's real and what isn't, we find it so refreshing to turn to you and know that every time you're going to be telling us the complete truth. Today, you become a son of the commandment. That's the literal translation in English of bar mitzvah. How appropriate that your Torah portion is about the 10 commandments. But mitzvah can also translate to a good deed or an act of kindness done in keeping with those commandments. Today, you said in your Devar Torah that my mom and dad's values helped me grow into the person I am today. But the reality is that it's a reciprocal relationship. And the good deed you have done for us is that you've helped define the way we parent. We appreciate music more when we hear you get so much joy from it. We appreciate and begin to tell the truth more unabashedly because you always trust us with your truths. And we share better and are more generous too, because you and Brendan, such a good example of living in harmony. Trevor, we're in awe of you. You've truly given this your all. Everyone here today is so proud of you and so excited for you to become a bar mitzvah. May you always go forward as you do today, with the truth on your lips, your arms so open in generosity, in music guiding your heart and soul. We love you.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to have these moments where you all get to speak directly to one another. And thank you for letting us be a part of that moment with you. It's an incredible thing we do in Judaism, that we always take these simchas, these joyous moments, and try to bring them to our communities and celebrate them all together. And it's a total joy to be part of this with you today. Were you going to say any words as well, or have you concluded your remarks? Concluded your remarks. Excellent. In that case, I will invite you to keep standing just for the moment. We are entering into the closing portion of our service, and that portion is going to begin with the Aleinu prayer, which is an especially fitting prayer for an occasion like this, because it's a prayer where we imagine a perfected world, a world where God is present and harmony is present for all people, and we remind ourselves that it's on us to make that world a reality. So please join us in the Aleinu.
לאדון הכל, לתת גאולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You can go ahead and be seated. At this time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. On this Shabbat, we remember for Shiva for the first 7 days of mourning, Doba Gendelman. If you are remembering anyone whom I name, please feel free to rise as I say their name. We also remember for Shloshim for the first 30 days of mourning, Dr. Elliot Eisenberg, Jackie Fonero, Kay Payne, Jack Schaefer, and Cheryl Gerson Tuttle. The perpetual memorials in our community are Judith M. Escalante Melvin and Art Rosenberg. And as this Shabbat concludes, we also commemorate the following yard sites: June Al-Hadef, Alfred Breslauer, Lila Cohen, Faye Doherty, Bessie Feingold, Max Gallant, Evelyn Igdaloff, Michael Igdaloff, Barbara Isaacson, Rabbi Joseph Karasik, Pearl Klein, Judith Kletter, Michael Lenvin, John Levin, Robert Paget, Lucille Pasek, Lawrence Prusiner, Harry Pryweller, Ethel Regan, Lester Schreiberg, Rose Schumann, James Schwartz, Eva Seidman, Irving Shore, Shirley Sladnick, Howard Spiegel, Alexander Tsipis, Lena Wolf, Murray Wolf, and Raina A. Zimmerman. To those names, we add any names that you hold in your hearts this evening, the names of any loved ones whom you may be remembering. And I invite you to join me in words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomechon, v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivarach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Aseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And together we say, amen.
Amen.
Well, in just a few minutes, we'll have the chance to conclude this service with a beautiful Havdalah ceremony, a moment that marks the end of Shabbat, the beginning of the regular week. And it's especially poignant in a ceremony like this. We're marking the end of this particular moment in sacred time where Trevor has gotten to share everything he's learned with us, but we're also marking the beginning of his journey as an adult Jew and everything that he's going to do moving forward. Before we do that, I want to make sure we have an opportunity to make any announcements. So I don't know if our executive director, Gordon Gladstone, or a senior rabbi or anybody has anything they wish to announce.
I will defer and yield my time to the senior rabbi.
I want to particularly Shabbat Shalom and Mazal Tov to Trevor and the entire Foss family. And a huge thank you to Jonathan Dimmick for bringing us such beautiful music from way, way up in the top of our sanctuary. I want to point out a really exciting program coming up on Wednesday, February 10th, one of our From the Frontline series, where Dr. Jonathan Graff, as my grandmother Raina A. Zimmerman, whose yahrzeit we remember this week, would have said, our favorite Rebbitzin, seeing as how we have one, I can say that. He will be in conversation. Well, we have a second, I don't know what you call a male partner, other rabbi, for purposes, Hubbitzin, Rebbitzin, Rebbitzman, whatever. Anyway, for our purposes, Dr. Jonathan Graff will be in conversation with Dr. Jonathan Fuchs, who is in charge of this COVID vaccine rollout, and will be able to explain much about what is going on in San Francisco, the idea behind the Department of Public Health's kind of process, what's going on with the state, what's going on in our country, and how this will affect herd immunity and what we should look towards as the next steps of getting rid of COVID and joining each other together back in the sanctuary. So please join us at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, February 10th. The link will be on our website. Members and non-members, friends, everyone is welcome. Also, I believe that there is a special program for Black History Month next Wednesday. Perhaps Rabbi Phelps, you can say something about it. I don't have information in front of me.
Absolutely. I don't have a tremendous amount of detail about the contents of the program, but I can tell you that it will be on Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30. It's going to be a celebration to kick off Black History Month. I know we're going to have a few folks, a panel of folks speaking. I think I may have the honor of making a few remarks right at the beginning to sort of situate this as an important thing to the Jewish community. So if you're able to join us for that at 5:30 this coming Wednesday, which I believe is the 3rd, then please do. And of course, please come to that program on the 10th that Rabbi Graff mentioned. Kenner Glauser, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, obviously a huge mazel tov to Trevor. So proud of all the work you've done. Really, really wonderful chanting. And also special thanks to Peter Bonos for doing all the photos and making everything look seamless with the Brady Bunch screens and everything. It was really much appreciated. So thank you to our program manager, Peter Bonos.
You're welcome.
The voice from above.
Well, it's time now for us to observe Havdalah. Havdalah comes from a word meaning to divide. And so in this moment, we will divide between Shabbat and the week, and also between this sacred ceremony and not only the rest of Trevor's life, but also the celebration that will follow it, as I understand there will be. So looking forward to that. we can get started with Havdalah. And I see that the candle is in front of us. So whenever you are prepared to, please go ahead and light that candle. And once the candle is lit, we will begin our prayers, and I will give a little information between prayers to make sure we all know what we're doing. Beautiful candle.
Let's let's start our blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. We take a sip of wine. Die, 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. With our spices. Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai dai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We extinguish our flame. Hamavdil bein kodesh lechol, Hamavdil bein kodesh lechol. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai dai yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai dai. We close our Havdalah service with Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera veyamenu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Shavua Tov to everybody.
Shavua Tov. Congratulations once more to Trevor. And now the celebration begins.
Yay.
I believe we have a slideshow, right?
Ooh, slideshow, yes.
Should I take this? So people here for Trevor, we have a little slideshow and then we'll do our toast.
Okay.
Hi.
Now we should do our toast. Maybe we could unmute.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel Tov.
Cheers, Trevor.
Cheers.
Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Van Halen in your honor, baby.
Did it already. No,
Trevor.
those two.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Like, I genuinely do like both, but it's sometimes.
Trev.
Grab your man.